Hello, Tamily. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday morning. We are about to start episode 104 of Ask Tamily, and our guest today will be Samantha. Her IG name is Samani Tammy, so make sure that you follow her if you aren't already, and then we will get connected in just a moment. Of course, we have questions planned for Samantha, but the most fun is live from the chat. And we are connecting now. Hello.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hello, how are you?
Really good.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm so excited.
I am too.
I feel like I've daydreamed about talking with you.
It's so much fun.
Yay. I can't read like all the stuff that's coming in sideways, so I'll leave that up to you if there's any. Pay attention.
I will try to keep up with it, but clearly we've got a lot of people joining us already. So
yeah.
We'll alternate between questions in the chat, so type them in, whatever you would like to ask, and of course our planned questions. So we can start with our favorite question, which is, Samantha, when and how did you start with the Tracy Anderson method?
So I kind of had like a soft start, if you could say that. I don't know. I can't remember what year, maybe 2013, 2014, where I was just really looking for something I could do at home instead of going to the gym. My husband and I were both working a lot, and like the gym travel back and forth and all of that. He's not really a gym person, so I was doing it myself, and it just like ate into our evenings and things like that. So I'm like, you know what? I need something I can do at home. And I started off finding this like Jillian Michaels DVD, and I liked it for a while. And then I started to feel like it was like so masculine in the movements. Mm-hmm. And so I started to search for feminine movements, feminine at-home workouts. That's kind of led to dance-based fitness stuff, which at the time I feel like there wasn't much. There was Tracy, and there was like, I tried Physique 57 for like a little while and stuff like that was dance-based. And I had done Pilates a lot in the past, but I wanted something more like that would give me a really good sweat. So yeah, I don't remember exactly what the trail was. I know there was something I read about Gwyneth Paltrow somewhere, and like something I saw, here and there. And then I got her 30-day method book. Mm-hmm. I read that. I'm like a very detailed person. So it's like I need to know all about something as I'm diving into it, which I feel like works really well with this method anyway. So I did that, and then I got the original Matt DVD, which I then was just like in love. I was like looking forward to it all the time, and I was just like, I love this. I love how the movements make me feel, and it brought out that part of me that like when I was little, I always wanted to be a dancer, but I never like stuck with it for any period of time, and I'm very, very tone deaf, and it was just like for music, like I never like got into it, and I felt like, okay, I'm finally getting to move like a dancer, you know? Mm-hmm. So I did that, and then I did Metamorphosis. Okay. And then did like a little bit of continuity, but then I kind of like fell off the wagon, I guess. Like, I don't know, a couple of years before I got pregnant with my daughter. Mm-hmm. And after I had Ellie, I would say I was like at the most out of shape I've ever been in my life, the biggest I'd ever been in my life, and the most uncomfortable in my body. And so when she was 5 months old, I finally like dove in and like really committed to Metamorphosis, like doing it very consistently. Like that's when I got on Instagram and connected with the Tamily, and then I never turned back.
So once you did Metamorphosis, at that point, did you go to streaming after that, or do continuity a little after that?
I did continuity a little bit. They had remember when the Tava DVD came out?
Mm-hmm.
They had like a free trial for
Mm.
streaming, like 30 days, and I
Yeah.
did that, and I loved it. I remember it was like around December 2016 that I first tried streaming with that, um, and it was hard to convince my husband of the $90 a month thing. So for a while, for weeks, I was just like, come on, like this is all I want to do now. But I went back to continuity for a couple more months. And then when my birthday came around a few months later in March, we dove in and we did it. And then now it's just like every time we look at it in the budget, we're like, nope, that's staying.
Yeah. Take something else out, but don't take out the streaming.
Exactly. I won't buy clothes.
Right. You only need workout clothes anyway. I mean,
That's all I wear anyway.
especially now. Um, so I know you said like having the dance kind of aspect to Tracy attracted you to it a bit. What else about the method made you choose to be dedicated to this type of fitness?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things along the way. I loved that I never got bored. I never, like, the fact that she's constantly changing it up, like in Meta, where it was different every 10 days and now it's different every week. Um, that was huge for me because I've been doing fitness stuff my whole life. Like, I remember being in sports since I was a kid, and then as I got older and was just trying to like get a handle on how to keep myself fit on my own without being in organized sports. Like I tried so many things like Taibo and running and Pilates and gym classes and spinning, and like the list goes on and on. And I feel like that's a part of so many people's stories. But like, you know, you just, like she says, if you do that for any period of time, your body gets used to it. And I was constantly looking just for something new, something different, some way to change it up so that I wouldn't get bored. And I feel like this is amazing, especially now with streaming, because I don't have to think about it. Like, I know that every week it's going to be a challenge, a new challenge to understand and a new way to move, and all still within the same, like, just way that she shows us how to move in our bodies. And so I loved that. I loved that it was like always a challenge, and it just felt lengthening and life-giving. I loved the sweat. And yeah, the fact that it was music and not, you know, someone talking to me, because you know when you do those DVDs you constantly get sick of the person's voice even if you're not sick of the movement. So
Yeah. Yeah. I hate the encouraging me from a DVD, and I'm like, you can't see me. Stop.
yeah,
I'm doing a good job.
I
Um,
know.
that's what's funny, that there's so many great things about this method, but like one reason I can never change is because I cannot be talked to now during a workout.
I know.
So unnatural.
Yeah, my husband does something now from home, and it's not a lot of that, but whenever someone is like, great, you're doing great, you know, I'm like, how do they know? They can't
Right?
see.
Like, and you said that at the same time in the last workout. Like,
Yeah.
so once you started with Tracy, what types of results did you see, both physical and non-physical?
Well, it was huge when I really dove back in 4 years ago, and I started with Metamorphosis and then into continuity. I mean, and then into streaming. I loved that I felt myself getting stronger. Like you really feel, even if you don't see, like on my body, in the past it's been hard to really see how strong I feel. I feel like I'm just starting to see that now with some new changes I've been making, but I could really feel it. Like I always say, she shows me something to do, and I'm like, you're crazy. I can't do that in my head when I first see it. And then, day one, you're stumbling and you're pausing every second to watch it again. And then day two, I'm like, oh, wait, I remember how to do this. And then by like 3, 4, 5, you feel like it's just coming naturally and flowing. And I love that. I love it's like just it's amazing what our bodies can do when we really allow them the opportunity to process it. So I feel like that just understanding myself and like getting to know my body better over time. I see like it's a slow process too. It's not overnight. And I've had to be patient, but that just inner like strength of understanding how to move in my body has been really remarkable. And then in the past, like I would say more recently is when I could tell you like stats. Like in the past, my son is a year and a half old. Now he's 19 months old. Aww. And the first year of his life it was me just kind of like, okay, I need to show up to the mat, but it's really only going to be 30 minutes. Like it was really hard for me to commit to like a fuller workout. And then I would say since March of this year, just combining the workout with like very particular ways of eating and focusing on sleep and taking certain supplements and stuff like that, I've actually lost 23 pounds since March. No, since the beginning of April, actually. 23
Wow.
pounds.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
It's been like it's been amazing, and it's been kind of a long time coming for me. Like I'm very excited about it, and I feel like already having like this method in my back pocket, and that was the one thing I didn't change. Like that was the thing I just kept doing straight through with this. It's been cool to see how I feel like I can do it even better now. So, yeah, I'm kind of talking all over the place.
No, that's really amazing. You're totally answering exactly what I asked. So have you ever been to a studio or a Vitality Week?
Yes, I've been to, not a Vitality Week. Oh my gosh, that would be a dream come true. But I've been to the 59th studio a couple of times.
Okay.
And I love it there. I wish that I could get that level of heat and humidity here, but only on a day like today, I guess. I could go outside. But yeah, that's really wonderful. And I went once with my friend Shoshana, which, yeah, she just said yes, she took me. My friend Shoshana came to visit, and we went together, and that was a crazy snowy day.
Oh my God.
Got stuck in a snowstorm on the way home, and I live an hour from there. So, and then I went with a group of Tamily before that, with like Jen, Glow Getter Shine. That's her handle, right? Jen, and I met that day Allie. I think she just started back up again.
Okay.
Allie Rose, and I met Darlene there. And I actually went down one time, and I didn't work out. I just went down to see Kat from Australia.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? I can swing it. So I went down and like had lunch with her, and that was really fun. And I loved that Julie was there, and I ran into Lashana one time, and she was so gracious and like took a picture with me, and I was just like starstruck by Lashana. So the studio is so cool. It's such a like exciting environment to work out,
Yeah, definitely. It is totally an amazing experience. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, to me, even going to the studio for a class is almost like as exciting as a Vitality Week. I know that's like a lot more involved, but
Yeah.
seeing the other trainers and just being in that space and the music and the floors and the, heat and humidity, like you said, like, oh gosh, it's just such an.
Yeah, it's like the release you feel after that heat and humidity and really doing the workout in that room. When you walk out of the room, even not even just like showered in everything, it just feels like you can feel like your cells realigning. It's like it's amazing how you come
Yeah.
up with. Yeah.
It is. Oh my gosh. I hope the studios are open sometime in the
Yeah,
future. Everybody's safe and healthy, and we can go back to
I
those
know.
fun experiences with each other.
Yeah. Did you see
We're,
that doing she posted the outdoor at
yeah,
Watermill? That looks so fun.
yeah. It's a really, really cool idea in this time, but I hope we get back to the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
I know.
just need to wait and get through this, obviously. So who in the Tamily inspires you?
Oh, I have a list. Well, everyone really. It's like just a very unique. I feel like it's so unique to have a group of mostly women that is so encouraging and positive and honest, um, especially when it comes to something so kind of, I mean, we're all here because we're working out and we want to feel healthier and we want to look healthier, like it's fitness.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody, so it's very visual, with everyone posting themselves working out and everything. But at the same time, everybody stays just so lovely towards each other. And I feel that that's so unique. It's amazing. Um, I'm inspired by you. I just think like your consistency over the years has been amazing to like it's when I'm like, oh, there have been days when the baby was little, my first one was little. I remember seeing like when you used to post like how many days
Uh-huh.
with a break. I'm like, what? And I had a break like 3 days ago and 2 days before that. I'm like, okay, I could do this. It's just, and you're just posting it like a fact. It wasn't like bragging or anything. You're keeping track of this is like your journal. And I feel like that's so inspiring. Like you just are very committed and it's really, really cool. I also am inspired by how you and Nicole have done this Ask Tamily. I feel like I know it's probably a lot of work and you guys are busy and I don't get to watch all of them, but the ones I do are so just like I don't know, it drives it home even more that like everybody is just here to be here for each other
Yeah.
and to help ourselves be better. So thank you for all the time you put into it.
Absolutely. Well, and it's funny, I mean, obviously it is work, and honestly, Nicole does most of the work. So we all need to thank Nicole. But
Nicole.
it's such an inspiring thing to me. Like it fulfills me more than I could ever imagine it's fulfilling other people. And even the same thing about like thinking of myself as inspirational. I'm like, I'm just here to try to get inspiration from all of you. Like that's the other thing about this community is that no one is thinking like, oh, I'm here doing this great stuff. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm struggling. I need to post about it. I have to try to hold myself accountable. Like, I've never thought about, I'm here inspiring other people. All of you are inspiring me. And I would think of things like, how can people with children and more complicated jobs and all that kind of stuff, they can do their workout. Why can't I do mine? And that was like my biggest excuse. So that's why I tracked workouts for 1,500 workouts. Like, because I wanted to know I can do this. It's
Wow.
just me making up that I don't have time. Because if these women had time, I have tons of time. It's just what I'm spending it on, and it's like I had to prove it to myself doing it. So that to think that that was inspiring other people while I was trying to find inspiration is just another element of like the reciprocity in this community. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so cool. Um, I also, yeah, and I get inspired by like the other moms with little kids
Mm-hmm.
too. Like Allison, Little Mamahood Life. She's so sweet too because I've reached out to her a few times and she's just given me great advice and she's super super consistent. I remember at the beginning, like when I first got on Instagram, I found Julie in the middle of her process, or maybe she was like towards the end of that weight loss process when she was like really open and posting a lot about what she was that whole year. That was super inspiring to me because I felt similar to her in that I was always fit, but I couldn't really see it. I couldn't see the results on my body the way I wanted to. And so I'm like, wow, how is this different for her that it could be for me? And so I really followed her a lot, and she actually responded so detailed and so beautifully to like some of the messages, some of the questions I asked her around that time and actually more recently. And I was super blessed by that because I just felt like just the fact that someone that doesn't know me is taking time out of their day to like give me this, gold. I just it felt like, yeah, like okay, it was a weird the internet is weird to me and I'm an introvert, and so going out of my comfort zone to ask someone a question and then actually have them respond, it was and that was exciting and inspiring and just
Mm-hmm.
so actually, and I also made a list so I don't forget people. Love when people have a sense of humor, like Muna.
Mm-hmm.
How she pronounces her name, Muna.
Yeah.
Okay. I love her sense of humor. I love Cassie's
Mm-hmm.
sense of humor, like just that kind of tongue in cheek, like I'm here and I'm showing up and this is serious to me, but like I can still be lighthearted about it. Like that is very inspiring to me because that doesn't come as naturally to me. Like I tend to get hard on myself, and so when I see those, people being lighthearted, I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Same thing for Sarah. I feel like Sarah PGP.
Mm-hmm.
She has a great sense of humor, and I love Chris lately. Chrissy, do you know Chrissy
Yeah.
Fortam?
Mm-hmm.
She's been just so sweet and like excited to see when I post and encouraging. I I I felt really inspired lately by how flexible she was with her just process of her injury and working through
Yeah.
because I know that can be hard. And like Kat, like I said, was very I don't know. She also has a very kind of lighthearted but educated approach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and another one, oh, I feel like a lot of people have said this probably, but Tracy McNeil
Mm-hmm.
has been very inspiring to me. Like her whole journey has been inspiring through
Yeah.
her cancer and recovery and everything.
Yeah. And she is such a like just good soul. She's such an uplifting person.
Yeah. So many, so many. There, I feel like there's so many. I could keep going. I was making this
But
list
such
last night.
good examples, though. So definitely everybody's inspiring, but those are really, really good call outs of the Tamily. So thank you for that, Samantha. So, have you ever met Tracy?
No, I would love to, but both times I worked out at the studio, she wasn't there. And the one time I went when I met Kat, she was there, but they were filming something. But I'd love to. I'd just hug her.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. What is something that you've learned from Tracy over your journey with the method?
I think like this idea that okay, there's actually a few things and they're all coming in my head at once. First, this idea that carving the time for yourself to work out is not like it's actually good for everyone around. And that was definitely something I had to grapple with at the beginning, because when you have a new baby and you have a husband who hasn't quite signed on yet at that time, like at the beginning I was just trying to find any I could do it. I was often doing it late at night. You know, it's you just she says like healthy people keep their workouts sacred. And at first, the word sacred to me was like a hard, like you know, to me, like very, very sacred things are sacred, like God. But I didn't, so I couldn't like align with that so easily. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? She's right. Like, it doesn't, it, it's that it holds a base that you can't move, you know? So keeping your workout as this thing in your life that is a constant so that you can be healthy and so that you can give the best to people around you. And it's not just like that, you know how she says you can't separate your physical self from your emotional, from your spiritual, from your mental. It's so true. And on really, really hard days mentally, I know I have to go to the mat even more, you know? Mm-hmm. Not just like, oh, I'm trying to get to a certain weight or certain genes. So that has been a big one for me, of like really the workout time and not making excuses and not letting things get in the way, letting myself get too tired, like you with like if I don't have enough time or whatever, like learning how to make time has been really, I've never had anyone drill it into me the way that she's more, I feel like in the fitness industry, I really respect her because she is more honest about what this requires than anyone I've ever heard. You know?
Yes. Definitely.
Just tells it straight. And I need that. I need someone to just like, it's virtually and say, this is what you need to do. Like, not, when she said, stand in front of the mirror and really analyze how you got to where you are and where you want to be, like that can apply to so many life, not just the physical. I had to do that for the physical because I used to work out and then eat a workout. This is my reward kind of thing. And that didn't get me anywhere. That didn't get me the results I wanted. So things like that where she's just so blunt with what it requires have taught me a lot. And it's actually given more grace with myself over the years, rather like she's taught me within that somehow I've learned how to be kinder to myself and more gracious than critical. And I'm a very self-critical person by nature. So, you know,
yeah, that's such an important lesson.
She has much. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there was one really big thing I wanted to say to that she's taught me, but that's the gist of it. It's been
okay.
It's been. I think the thing that's how to be patient.
Right. There's no quick fixes. Delay. There is a delay, yeah, but it'll be all right.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, there's no quick fixes. Like that's where she's honest and others want to say that you can get your perfect body in 90 days. That's not what she says. Like, that's the time frame to set your routine, to, become dedicated to it, and then do it 6 to 7 days a week, every week, forever. No one else is that honest.
Yeah.
What
That's
would
true.
be your advice to new to the method?
I would say just that, be patient and like really. Another thing that I always think in my head is she says to be an A+ student, and like what that means, being an A+ student of the method, like studying it, in getting the angles right. When you're there working, be all there. Don't start and stop and start and stop. And I mean, it's now I say I get distracted, but if you're new and you can like try to carve out your workout space in a way that and your time, that you can really focus on it and not allow other people or distractions to come into that time. Because I feel like learning how to do this at the beginning can be, it really involves your mind. Like, you can't just zone out. So to get the angles right and to really get into that place where I like with a tam trance, and um, you're like in such a zone with the movement that you're in, that you feel like everything is coming together. That takes focus to get there. I would say give it time, for sure. She knows what she's doing. Don't listen to the naysayers, because there's naysayers out there. Don't read online articles about the science our body needs. Like, just look at this community of thousands, millions of people for years and years and years. And as the years go on, just keep getting better at it. And like, look at all of this like library of people, of evidence that Tracy knows what she's doing, and give her a chance. I would say the biggest thing, because when I did this the first time, like I said, I had a soft start. I definitely didn't give her the chance that she had to, through help me with what I wanted to achieve. And this time around, I would say for the last 4 years straight, through 2 postpartums and through 1 pregnancy, and really also trying to like work through crazy things in life, like just give her a chance. Keep showing up. Just press play. And when days when you don't feel like doing it, that's what I do on days where I'm really like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, I'm like, I'm just gonna give myself an opening ceremony. It's 10 minutes or it's 15 minutes. Like lately it's been closer to 10 minutes. I'm just gonna do the opening ceremony and then see how I feel. And usually if it's a normal morning where we don't have craziness and I have to stop, like normally that drives me to finish the rest of the workout. And I'm always glad I did it.
Absolutely. Definitely. That's such a good lesson. Like, let yourself just do that part and see how you feel, and you'll always feel better. Even if you decide that that's all you're doing for that day, it will still be better. Have you faced any challenges?
Yeah, it's better than nothing. Oh, certainly, yeah. I definitely had, I would say, some ups and
Okay. So, I think our delay is over. If you want to try again.
Okay. So challenges. There was definitely, well, when I came back into working out after my son was born, I feel like last year, well, so he was born December 2018. And while I was pregnant with him, I did pregnancy project or I did beginners from streaming.
Mhm.
And towards the end, I definitely just did like it was the last 6 weeks of my pregnancy plus the 6 weeks of recovery afterwards. That's, was that 3 months altogether of not really tuning in that much. I would like kind of here and there look on Instagram to see what's up, but I wasn't working out that much. So when I came back into it after that, I feel like everything had changed. And I feel like while I took a nap, the whole world changed in a way because she just amped up the game with Attain. And that was when everything kind of just stepped up to a new level. And it took a while to catch up. So I had to really just be patient with myself. I felt a lot of FOMO for sure, like a lot of like, oh shoot, I don't even know if I can do this anymore. And something about I have no idea honestly like why, but there was this thought in my mind of just keep the time. Like just keep myself used to working out, where it's 5 minutes or just beginners or whatever. So as many days as I could in those first few months um, after coming back to working out, I would just get putting on my workout clothes and setting up the mat and turning on the doing it and finding the time while my daughter was at school or while the baby was napping or whatever. And it's definitely challenging. I had a VBAC um, for my second. For my first, I had a C-section. For my second, I actually pushed him out, and the recovery so much different. Like I actually felt like I could do more quicker after the second one, which was exciting to me. But then there were also certain moves that I was like, I don't even know, like I can't figure out how to move my body that way anymore. And it took a really long time. It took longer than I thought it would to feel connected to everything.
Mhm.
So it took a lot of patience and a lot of just mindlessly showing up. Like, I don't know what to expect today, but I'm just going to do it. And it oftentimes was beginners. I would say until he was 9 or 10 months old, I was doing beginners. And then slowly got back into it, and then slowly back into advanced. So it's been a slow year, and a big reason why that was so challenging as well is I was experiencing a lot of negative comparison with myself comparing to other. There were a lot of other people in the Tamily who were having babies around the same time and who were like getting back into like beautiful very, very quickly. And I like very confused about why I wasn't. I also had a very stressful year as well, otherwise. So it was a combination of like needing to keep the comparison out. I actually went Instagram for several months at a time and then still needing to work out. Um, that it was all a jumble. And that was all last year. And at some point it came together and I just was like, okay, back here I am. But it was definitely um, a weird with all of that.
Yeah.
So it's funny because it was challenging in some ways, but in other ways, I feel like even just a little bit helped me stay more resilient.
Yeah, that definitely helps keep. If anyone wants to type in the chat, do it now.
I haven't been able to I feel like I'm rambling, so I haven't read through. It's so sweet. So I could go into that a little bit more. If
Sure.
could ask,
You can go into it a little more.
So when my son was 2 months old, we saw like a bump on his arm right here, and it grew very, very rapidly, and it turned out to be a rare form of childhood cancer called infantile fibrosarcoma. And throughout last year, it was remarkable actually, from February of 2019 until September, it grew rapidly, and then he took a particular medicine that helped shrink it, and then in September they surgically removed it.
Okay.
And now cancer free, and he's thriving, and he's amazing, and the whole thing is this weird question that we're always like, why did that even happen? Mm-hmm. But he had an amazing team of doctors, and we have amazing support in our family and our friend, everything that really, and we just relied on God a lot, and it was a crazy year. But that's what when I was referring to stress, and my friend Shoshana wrote, like, it was a very stressful year. It was a stressful year, but a lot of people would say to me, like, why? I can't even, like, people closest to me, like, I don't know how you even functioned. Like, I also have a 4-year-old, and like, I don't know how you manage to do life. Like, it's debilitating to think of the idea of a baby, brand new baby, cancer, not know what's going to happen. But we just, I would, one was, we were just sustained, and we really, like, felt like an amazing peace throughout the whole thing, that he was being well taken care of.
So, I can't hear you anymore. Can you hear me? We don't need to start over. I can just kick you out and you can rejoin. Just have a little intermission. Everyone take a sip of your drink. And we'll add Samantha back on. I hate you, Instagram. Okay, it's connecting. Hello.
Can
No.
Hi.
I can now.
My husband. Yeah. You can?
I can hear you,
okay.
Yes.
All right. My husband said to try turning off my Bluetooth.
Okay. That's a
Let me.
I think she's doing something to her phone, so it's paused. Okay. We're good. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know that your answer was finished.
That's okay. I'll let you decide. You want me to go back to it, or you want to go on to the next thing?
Well, we can go on to the next thing, unless there's something like that you want to end with instead of feeling like you got cut off in the middle of talking about something very important.
I don't know where you got cut.
I don't
Where did you
either.
get cut?
We'll go on to another question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, let's go through. How did you discover the Tamily, and who are some of the first people you connected with?
I don't remember how I discovered. I must have done some sort of Facebook search and then seen. I know one of the first people I saw on here was Tiffany Ann, who's also very inspiring. Um, Tiffany Ann and Aggie, and who else? Oh my gosh, I have
Loretta.
yes, Loretta. Yeah, and do you remember? Oh, actually, do you remember? I can't remember her name now. Lacey.
Okay.
Lacey something. She was one of. I think she had a blog many years ago about
Okay.
method.
Yeah, where is she? Is she on still?
I don't know. I think I felt like I found her on Instagram a while ago, and then maybe she doesn't post a lot. I honestly don't scroll through as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like all the names are like not coming to me.
Yeah, and the
But
Instagram algorithm makes it more complicated.
yeah, it's kind of annoying. Oh, there's someone named Sharon. I think
Okay.
her handle is Weegers something.
Okay.
She's very, very sweet to me and reached out a lot at the beginning. Um, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Bridget Ralph.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like when you first get on, there's like this flow of new people to follow, and then you kind of, over time, like figure out the ones who are like really posting their workouts a lot, or because that's what I want. I have a personal account too, so I wanted this to be like really my journal and inspiration, and so you kind of over time like that shifts and changes what type of inspiration you need too. So.
Right. That's a really good point. And that's a great way to think about it too, of being like a journal and inspiration. So what is your routine now with your workout? Are you doing advanced all the time, and how do you feel about the way that it is amped up and the chair and everything too?
So my routine now is I'm still kind of all over the place with what class I do. And the reason for that is more recently I've been trying this thing called cycle syncing.
Okay.
My workouts. So depending on where I am in my cycle, um, I'll do a more intense one or a more or less intense one. So I read just been trying more now, but basically it says that like 2 weeks of your cycle, like right after that's when your body needs the more intensity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when um sorry, I moved the phone.
It's okay. Technology is so sensitive. Now I can't hear you again.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. I can hear you. Let's go.
We're good?
I
Can
think
you
so,
hear me?
yes. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, so I do advanced during the first 2 weeks, and then I start to pare it back, and I do intermediate as I'm like leading in the week, 10 days or so leading up to my period, and then I really just take it easy and I do beginners during the last week or so.
Okay.
during my period, or I don't, or I walk.
Mhm.
But I have sort of a back and forth relationship right now with Advance. Like I feel like last month it put a lot of muscle on,
Mhm.
um, which is okay. I'm happy with it. But as I'm still trying to lose weight in terms of pounds, I'm trying to figure out what the right formula is for me still. So I'm considering doing like what Erin and Melissa just did with the month of
Mm,
intermediate. I'm considering
yeah.
doing that. Yeah. I'm considering doing that this upcoming month, and we'll see. But I didn't actually get to do the chair last week. I was so upset that I missed it. I'm excited to try it like today or tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah. The
looks really
chair is
fun.
definitely it's interesting. It's like challenging in a whole different way. I'm not sure if I like it, but I have tried it at least one day of when she does that workout. So, yeah, but I think that's a really good plan about intermediate, especially with how the workouts, really even beginners, is a very difficult workout right now. Like it's achievable, but there's nothing that, isn't challenging. Like they're all challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. I was yesterday sweating bullets in beginners. Or the day before. I did intermediate yesterday. But yeah. So do you have any pointers with the chair if you've tried it, you've done it already a bit. So
Um, I feel like you have to have the right chair. Like mine is like a little too tall. Like that kind of stuff can really sort of distract you from it
mm,
because it's so different than being on the floor. And I think for some people they love it and it's a great difference for them. But I think for others it can be like a little more challenging. Although it's just challenging overall. It's gonna feel unbalanced and stuff no matter what chair you have, but like mine is just not a great chair for this workout. And I think if you're like a little on the shorter side, you should try to have a little bit of a shorter chair. My chair has like a high back. So
okay.
it's like literally the only chair that I could possibly use. It's so weird. I don't have a variety of chairs. I have like bar stools and like two of the same chair. So
I
that's the
feel
only
like now
thing.
I'm like my brain, like what do I use? Because my dining room chairs are like swivel chairs. So that
Okay.
won't
Yeah.
I don't I'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
I do want to tell you the funniest thing happened a couple of weeks ago, remember with the roll?
Mm-hmm.
Where stop, drop, and roll that she did. I was doing that in the morning, and my, usually it's just me and my son down here hanging out while I'm working out, and he was just like sitting on the couch watching, and I was like kind of forgot he was in the room for a minute, and I'm just doing the roll, and he all of a sudden starts giggling, laughing at me and rolling on the sofa, and I wish I could have videoed it because so funny, but
Aw.
um, like didn't get it in time, and he was just like laughing every time I rolled. He would like point and roll, and it was it was really cute. And I'm curious now what he's gonna do when I break out a chair. But
Oh, that's so hilarious. I didn't
yeah,
think about like what a little child might think because probably never seen you roll on the floor before in his life. So,
my daughter loved when they had when there was a like a somersault almost. Remember, it was like a
mm,
somersault, crazy split, and
yeah,
I could just and she was trying, and I'm like, be careful.
right. It's kind of dangerous. Well, we are actually down to our last few minutes, Samantha. Um, so if anyone has any questions, you can type them into the chat. I have seen lots of comments, but no questions. And then I'll ask you just maybe one or two more from our list as well. What is the meaning of your Instagram handle?
Um, so some when I was a kid, a big nickname for me was Saman. My brother would be like Saman, and then that somehow morphed into Samani with my parents over the years. Like just sort of a term of endearment. So I thought it was funny that, like, to add Tam. So I just thought it was funny to make Samani Tammy.
I love it. It's very catchy.
Often what people think when they read it, like, where's she from?
Right. I wondered, like, is her name really Samantha or is it Samani? And like, I was wondering too if actually the whole thing was really your name. So.
I've been wondering if I should put like the underscore.
Uh-huh.
I don't. Who knows?
I
For
think
now,
it's a little wonder.
good call.
So maybe just one last question before we really start to run out of time. Where do you live and what do you do?
I live in New York, about an hour outside of Manhattan, about an hour northwest of Manhattan. And I freelance design custom closets right now. I do interior design now as like a young mom that's just in this area where I live. That's just kind of been more what I do more of now. So
That's very cool.
yeah, it's a lot of working from home. It's great because it's a flexible schedule. And, I've learned how to get my workouts in the morning now, which has been a huge deal for me. And so I like the flexibility of it. I can't see myself now going back to like a normal schedule, but yeah.
Well, we are down to like our last 120 seconds. So, is there anything else you would want to share with the Tamily while you have this audience?
I just want to thank everyone for all the support and encouragement I've received from the Tamily throughout the years. I think that's a big, big reason I've been coming back here. Oh, and I want to say one thing. My husband, also, you didn't ask me who I got to do Tam. I'm sure she's been commenting, and she's been doing it for a few years and is amazing. And my husband did it for a while. He does something else now from home, but he's I want to bring him to a Vitality Week one year. He's been a huge support, and he's like the only reason really I can do it as often as I do, and I'm super, super thankful.
Aww.
So go Nate.
Yes, definitely. He has to come to a Vitality Week. That would be so fun.
Yeah, I'll have to train him on the hour and the heat and humidity because those are two things he never really was like for, but he's good.
Definitely. Well, it's been so awesome, Samantha, getting to know you a little bit more and hearing about your journey. Thank you for sharing it with us, and thank you for being such an inspirational member of the Tamily.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited I got to do this with you, Suzanne. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, it'll go into an IGTV post on the Ask Tamily site. It'll stay there, and then we'll also put it on YouTube in a few days.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye, Tamily.
Bye.